Hey, what's good everyone? I'm MA76B-Ball and I am back with the final performance review on the KD7 Elite. So let me start off by letting you know that I got a total of 16 hours on the shoes. I had 10 hours indoor, that was 6 hours on a pristine court and 4 hours on a semi-dusty court. And then I had another 6 hours outdoors. In a nutshell, this shoe definitely exceeded my expectations. So let's jump into the review and break it down. Like most full-on reviews, I'm going to start off with the traction. The KD7 Elite has a very soft and pliable, very sticky type of rubber on the outsole. I remember the very first time I got my hands on them when I was in the Nike outlet, and just rubbing my hand on the rubber, it was very sticky. So on court, on a pristine, clean court, the rubber is very squeaky when you're cutting left and right. Crossovers, jump stops, whatever it may be, the KD7, it had your back. So when I moved on to the semi-dusty courts, it was about every 2 or 4 plays I had to wipe the outsole. But that's just that's the way it goes with all shoes. Finally, on the outdoor court, the traction was, I guess you could say like an 8 out of 10. But about a week or two, you're gonna see some wear and tear on the outsole. I've noticed some very thin layers of rubber starting to peel off. But again, the shoes are not meant for outdoor. It's definitely an indoor shoe. But if you choose to use it outside, expect some wear and tear, but the shoe will perform exceedingly well. Alright, so next up we have cushioning. And for the KD7 Elite, in the forefoot section of the shoe, there is a rectangular Zoom airbag. And yeah, no complaints about this cushioning setup. I've noticed, from day 1 to hour 14, the forefoot airbag definitely, softened up a little bit, but more importantly, it gave a little bit more feedback, a little bit more snap. So when pushing off under the ball of your foot, the airbag had a little bit more oomph to it. Especially when I was playing, obviously, on concrete on the outdoor courts, you could feel it responding a little bit more so than the hardwood courts. Now the large volume Zoom airbag in the heel, this did a great job of impact protection whenever coming down on heel strikes and the transition through. The bag did a great job of just responding well, and also, which was a nice surprise for me, was very stable. I have a few clips here, or maybe a clip, and it shows I was slightly planting on the left side of my foot, but it wasn't an issue as I carried on with my move. Also, there is another clip that when I'm doing a spin move, again I plant on my heel, and it was great. It did a great job of just making things easier on my ankles and my knees and my lower back, and yeah, it was great. It was the first time I've ever played in a Zoom bag this large, and it did what it was supposed to do. Fantastic. So let's talk about fit and support now. As far as the fit goes, I actually went up half a size in this, which is kind of surprising, especially for me because I've got quite a low volume, a skinny type foot. And when I was trying on the 8.5 in the Nike outlet shop, it was just, too snug. The foam posit, does mold to your foot, and I can't really say it has any give, but the material doesn't stretch out. At least to my knowledge, it will not stretch out. So when I tried on the size 9, it was still snug. It was still a good fit. My heel wasn't slipping, at least in the shop it wasn't slipping. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the size 9, and it ended up working out. So skip all the way to hour 14, yeah, for sure. The material didn't give out, but it has conformed to my foot, wraps around my foot even more so. I mentioned in the first on court video, the tongue, molded to my foot, and just it all adds up to a great fit. Now, if you've got a wider foot, a high volume type foot, You know, maybe that half size, you know, it's probably going to be necessary for you. Maybe a full size, I don't know. Don't take my word for it. You know, get in the shop and try them on. So anyways, that was fit. You know, it fit to a T. That also resulted in 0 heel slippage, and my toes still had room for, you know, with jump stops, and I still had wiggle room and whatnot. Now, as far as the support goes, well, you know, the foam-posite material is, you know, it's not extremely pliable or flexible. It does mold to your foot, but the material itself lends to support when you're on the court. Also, fly-wire. The fly-wire setup in this is pretty awesome. It's every single eyelet, all the way up to the last one. So again, that is contributing to the wrap effect around your foot. So yeah, that's mostly where the support is coming from. Now, as far as the heel counter, I have no idea. I don't think there's any form of plastic or, you know, TPU or whatever it may be. It's just the foam-posite material wrapping all the way around, which in itself is, you know, kind of stiff. So I guess that's what they're utilizing for your heel counter. But again, like I just mentioned, you know, when I was planting, not square on, there was no issue with the stability. And for this, you know, a low cut, you know, Kevin Durant loves these low cuts. I felt really, really secure and confident. I'm an old school guy. I prefer mid cuts, but yeah, there was no issue here whatsoever. So let's talk about breathability quickly. The foam-posite material obviously is not breathable in itself. So this cool aesthetic that they've got wrapping around the shoe is actually acting as the breathability as well. The perforations, or they're just straight up holes, do allow air to flow through. You can see you're not going to have any breathability happening around here. So it's quite warm in the forefoot, and that's probably what caused my hot spots. However, in the tongue, in the first 3/4 of the tongue, you can see the large perforations there, and that definitely allowed airflow to come through. But I would have to say overall, it's a pretty warm shoe. Last but not least, I want to talk about a couple things that I didn't really like too much. Even in hour 14, each time I go play, it's always 2 hours at a time. That's the time that we get at the gym, and that's about as much as I can pull off at an outdoor court. I gotta get back to the house, you know, the kids might be, you know, running around tearing everything apart. So, you know, in hour 14, materials are broken in, the cushioning's broken in, but I still got hot spots under my foot, which is, yeah, oh well. You know, I would play for 2 hours, I can deal with it, but yeah, I got hot spots. If anyone else plays in KD7s, maybe you could leave a comment and let me know if you had the same experience. So yeah, that was one. Number two, the insole that's in the shoe. You know, it's the same insole you're gonna find in like a $40 shoe, you know, and this is supposed to be Elite Series, right? The LeBron 12 Elite, hopefully you guys might have seen a video on that, my first on court. That insole was a little bit beefier, and I actually had an extra layer of cushioning around the heel. So that's kind of disappointing for this one, but you know, it is what it is. Companies tend to save their money wherever they can, and hey, that's what you get, right? But don't let that distract from the overall shoe and its performance. This was an outstanding shoe, and I'm definitely stoked on it. And I would recommend it, you know, if it's going to suit your type of game. Well, that's it, guys. I tried to make this video not too long. I hope you enjoyed my very first full-on performance review. I do have the LeBron 12 Elite coming up, and I've actually got 2 more shoes coming down the line that I'm pretty excited about, but I'll announce that stuff later on my Instagram. If you haven't checked me out on Instagram, go ahead, it's under the same title, MA76bball, and until next time, hope everything is good out there for you guys. If you're out there, if you're balling, practice hard, stay focused, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.